Have you ever sat alone and felt like everyone else is moving forward and you are just standing still, like life is opening doors for others, giving them opportunities, while for you everything feels delayed, heavy, and uncertain? And in those quiet moments, a question whispers into your heart, why am I behind? But what if I told you that this feeling is not a sign of failure, it is a moment of divine positioning? You see, in our lives, we measure progress by what we can see, success, wealth, relationships, achievements, but Allah measures something entirely different. He looks at your heart, your patience, your trust, your sincerity. Sometimes, being left behind in this world is actually Allah drawing you closer to Him. Because if He gave you everything at once, would you still turn to Him in the depth of the night? Would your heart still soften in prostration the same way it does now? So when you feel delayed, when you feel like others are ahead and you are not where you thought you would be, do not let Shaitan redefine your story. You are not behind, you are exactly where Allah wants you to be. Every pause, every closed door, every moment of waiting is not emptiness, it is preparation. Because Allah is not just writing your timeline, He is perfecting your soul before He gives you what you asked for. There are moments in life when everything around you seems to be moving forward except you. You watch people your age achieving things you once dreamed of, stepping into roles you imagined for yourself, reaching milestones you quietly prayed for, and it begins to feel as though you have been left behind. It is a heavy feeling, one that sits deep in the chest, creating a quiet ache that words often fail to express. You begin to question your path, your choices, even your worth. You wonder if you did something wrong, if you missed an opportunity, if you are somehow less deserving. And slowly, without even realizing it, you start measuring your life against others, using their timelines as a standard for your own. But this feeling, as painful as it is, carries within it a misunderstanding of how Allah works in our lives. Because what appears as delay in your eyes is never delay in the sight of Allah. What feels like being left behind is not abandonment, it is intentional placement. Allah, in His infinite wisdom, does not move every soul at the same pace, nor does He write identical stories for His creation. Each life is crafted with precision, each moment designed with purpose, each delay carrying a meaning that may not be visible to you yet. And so the very thing you perceive as being behind is often the exact position you need to be in for what is coming next. When you see others moving ahead, achieving success, building families, gaining recognition, it is easy to forget that what you are witnessing is only a small part of their journey. You see the outcome, not the process. You see the moment of arrival, not the years of struggle, the silent prayers, the hidden tears, the nights of uncertainty. And at the same time, you overlook your own journey, the growth that has taken place within you, the strength you have developed, the resilience that has quietly formed in your heart. You reduce your story to what you do not have yet, instead of recognizing what you have already become. Allah is not only concerned with what you achieve, He is deeply concerned with who you become in the process of waiting. Because sometimes, if you were given what you wanted too soon, it would not elevate you, it would break you. If certain doors opened before your heart was ready, you might walk through them with pride instead of gratitude, with attachment instead of reliance on Allah. And so, in His mercy, He holds you back, not to deprive you, but to prepare you. He allows you to sit in the discomfort of waiting so that your heart softens, so that your dependence on Him deepens, so that your intentions become pure. There is a wisdom in being placed in a season where nothing seems to move quickly. It is in these moments that you are invited to slow down, to reflect, to reconnect with Allah in a way that is not driven by urgency but by sincerity. When everything is going well, it is easy to become distracted, to rely on your own abilities, to forget that every blessing comes from Him. But when you feel behind, when doors remain closed, when the path ahead is unclear, you find yourself turning to Him more often, calling upon Him with a heart that is vulnerable and present. And that connection, that closeness, is far more valuable than any worldly achievement. You may not realize it, but in this very moment of feeling left behind, something beautiful is being built within you. Patience is taking root in your heart, teaching you to trust even when you do not understand. Humility is growing within you, reminding you that everything you receive is a gift, not a guarantee. Gratitude is being nurtured, allowing you to appreciate even the smallest blessings in your life. These qualities cannot be rushed, they cannot be forced, they are developed over time through experiences that stretch you and shape you. And so, when you compare your timeline to others, you overlook the uniqueness of your own journey. You forget that Allah created you with a specific purpose, one that cannot be fulfilled by copying someone else's path. The things you are meant to experience, the lessons you are meant to learn, the people you are meant to meet, all of it is arranged in a way that aligns with your role in this world. If your life moved at the same pace as someone else's, you would miss the very moments that are essential for your growth. There is also a protection in delay that is often hidden from you. Sometimes what you desire is not good for you at the time you want it. Sometimes the opportunities you see others receiving are not meant for you because they carry challenges that you are not ready to handle yet. And sometimes Allah removes something from your path not because you are unworthy of it, but because He knows it would harm you in ways you cannot foresee. So He delays, He redirects, He withholds, all while you are trying to make sense of what is happening. The feeling of being left behind often comes from focusing too much on the destination and not enough on the journey. You set expectations for where you thought you would be by a certain age, by a certain stage of your life, and when reality does not match those expectations, disappointment sets in. But those expectations were based on your limited understanding, while Allah's plan is based on complete knowledge. He sees what you cannot see, He knows what you do not know, and He arranges your life in a way that is ultimately for your benefit, even if it does not feel that way in the moment. When you shift your perspective, you begin to see that this phase of feeling behind is not empty. It is full of meaning, full of opportunities for growth, full of moments that are shaping you into the person you are meant to become. Every day that passes is not a wasted day, it is a step in your journey, even if that step is not visible to others. You are not stagnant, you are evolving in ways that are deeper and more significant than external achievements. It is also important to recognize that your worth is not defined by how quickly you reach certain milestones. Your value does not decrease because you have not achieved what others have achieved. In the sight of Allah, your worth is connected to your faith, your character, your sincerity, your efforts. These are the things that truly matter, the things that carry weight beyond this world. And often, it is through seasons of waiting that these qualities are strengthened. When you begin to internalize this, the feeling of being left behind starts to transform. It no longer feels like a burden, but like a space for growth. You start to see the beauty in your journey, the uniqueness of your path, the care with which Allah is guiding you. You begin to trust that every delay has a purpose, that every moment of waiting is part of a larger plan that is unfolding in ways you cannot yet comprehend. And so, instead of rushing to catch up with others, you learn to walk at the pace that Allah has set for you. You learn to focus on your own progress, your own relationship with Him, your own growth. You begin to find peace in knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it does not look like where you thought you would be. You understand that being left behind is not a sign of failure, but a sign that Allah is working on you in a way that is personal, intentional, and deeply meaningful. Because in the end, it is not about how quickly you arrive, but about who you become along the way. And sometimes the greatest transformations happen in the quiet moments, in the seasons where nothing seems to move, in the spaces where you feel unseen, because that is where Allah is shaping your heart, refining your character, and preparing you for what is yet to come. There is a quiet pressure that many people carry within them, a pressure shaped by expectations, comparisons, and the constant awareness of time passing. You look around and see others reaching milestones you once imagined for yourself, and a subtle voice begins to whisper that perhaps you are late, that somehow your life is not unfolding the way it should. It is not always loud, this feeling, but it lingers in the background, influencing how you see your journey, how you measure your progress, how you speak to yourself in moments of reflection. You begin to think in terms of delay, in terms of missed chances, in terms of being out of sync with the world around you. But the idea that you are late is rooted in a misunderstanding of time itself. Because the timeline you are comparing yourself to is not divine, it is human. It is shaped by society, by culture, by what people around you consider success at certain ages or stages. And while these expectations may seem real and urgent, they are not the measure by which Allah defines your life. Your timeline is not a random sequence of events, nor is it something that has gone off track. It is written with precision, with care, with a wisdom that extends far beyond what you can perceive in the present moment. Allah does not operate within the limitations of human timing. What feels like a delay to you is never a delay in His plan. He is not bound by your expectations or your deadlines. When something is meant for you, it will come at the exact moment it is supposed to come, not a second too early and not a second too late. And that moment is not chosen randomly. It is chosen because it is the point at which you are most ready to receive it, when your heart, your mind, and your circumstances align in a way that allows that blessing to truly benefit you. Sometimes you think you are ready for something, but readiness in your eyes is often based on desire, not preparation. You want something deeply, you pray for it, you imagine your life with it, and so you assume that you are prepared to handle it. But Allah sees beyond your desire. He sees the parts of you that still need growth, the areas of your character that need strengthening, the intentions that need refining. And so, in His mercy, He delays what you ask for, not to deny you, but to prepare you in a way that ensures that when it comes, it becomes a source of DE and not a source of harm. There is a deep mercy in this preparation that often goes unnoticed. Because if you were given certain blessings before you were ready, you might not appreciate them, you might misuse them, or you might attach your heart to them in a way that distances you from Allah. And so the delay becomes a form of protection. It becomes a way for Allah to shape your heart so that when you finally receive what you have been asking for, you receive it with gratitude, with humility, with an awareness that it is a gift from Him. When you begin to understand this, your perspective starts to shift. You no longer see your life as something that is behind schedule, but as something that is unfolding exactly as it should. The moments of waiting no longer feel empty, they feel purposeful. The silence between dua and response no longer feels like neglect, it feels like a space where something important is happening beneath the surface. You begin to trust that even when you cannot see progress, there is a process taking place within you, shaping you in ways that will only become clear later. One of the most challenging aspects of feeling late is the constant comparison to others. You see people achieving what you hope to achieve, and it creates a sense of urgency, a feeling that you need to catch up, that you need to do more, be more, become more in a shorter amount of time. But comparison is often rooted in a limited understanding of what success truly is. You are comparing your internal journey, with all its complexities and struggles, to the external appearances of others. You are measuring your worth based on visible outcomes, without considering the unseen realities behind them. Every person's path is different because every person's purpose is different. The timing of your life is connected to the role you are meant to fulfill, the experiences you are meant to have, the lessons you are meant to learn. If your life unfolded at the same pace as someone else's, you would miss the very things that are essential for your growth. What you perceive as being late is often just a different pace, one that is uniquely suited to your journey. There is also a beauty in the slower unfolding of your life, even if it does not feel like it at first. When things come quickly, they can sometimes pass just as quickly, leaving little room for reflection or appreciation. But when something is delayed, when you wait for it, pray for it, hope for it over a long period of time, it changes how you receive it. It deepens your gratitude, it strengthens your connection to Allah, it allows you to recognize the value of what you have been given. The waiting itself becomes part of the blessing, shaping your heart in a way that enhances the gift when it finally arrives. It is also important to remember that not everything you desire is meant to come to you in the form you expect. Sometimes, what you are waiting for is being prepared for you in a way that is different from what you imagined. Sometimes the delay is not just about timing, but about transformation. Allah may be changing the path, adjusting the outcome, aligning things in a way that is far better than what you initially asked for. And so, what feels like a delay may actually be a redirection towards something greater. In moments when you feel late, it becomes essential to return to trust. Not a passive trust, but an active one, where you consciously remind yourself that Allah's plan is perfect, even when it is not clear. You continue to make effort, you continue to strive, but you release the need to control the outcome or the timing. You understand that your role is to do your best with sincerity, and that the results will come in the way and at the time that is best for you. There is a calmness that comes with this understanding, a sense of peace that replaces the anxiety of feeling behind. You no longer rush through your life, trying to meet external expectations. You move with intention, with awareness, with a focus on your relationship with Allah rather than on the approval of others. You begin to see your journey as something sacred, something that is unfolding under divine care, even in its most uncertain moments. And as this understanding deepens, the narrative within your heart begins to change. The words, "I am late," are replaced with, "I am exactly where I need to be." The fear of missing out is replaced with trust in what is written for you. The urgency to catch up is replaced with patience and contentment. You start to see that your timeline is not something to be feared or questioned, but something to be honored because it reflects the wisdom of the one who created you and knows you better than you know yourself. You realize that every stage of your life carries its own purpose, its own lessons for growth and connection with Allah. There is no moment that is wasted, no experience that is meaningless. Even the times when you feel stuck, when you feel like nothing is changing, are filled with opportunities to develop your character, to strengthen your faith, to deepen your understanding of what truly matters. And so, instead of viewing your life through the lens of delay, you begin to see it through the lens of divine timing. You recognize that everything is unfolding in a way that is aligned with your ultimate good, even if that good is not immediately visible. You trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you, and that nothing that is written for you will ever miss you. This trust does not remove the challenges. It does not eliminate the moments of doubt or the feelings of uncertainty, but it gives you a foundation to stand on when those feelings arise. It reminds you that you are not navigating your life alone, that there is a wisdom guiding every step, every pause, every transition. It allows you to move forward with a sense of calmness, knowing that your timeline is not late, it is perfectly written, unfolding exactly as it is meant to, shaping you into the person you are meant to become, preparing your heart for what is ahead, aligning your life in a way that reflects a plan far greater than anything you could have designed for yourself.